Partnered by Times Influence.
Hello and welcome to another episode of discussing digital advertising content and trends ahead in the media. With us are four fantastic guests to break down the future of digital advertising and give us a deep dive insight into where the trends are today and how are consumers and advertisers evolving with absolute changes coming up in technology and the level of new consumption that we're beginning to see in digital, whether it's through OTT or regular media platforms. That is going to be in the spotlight on this show, which is a partnership between ZEE5 and etbrandequity.com. I am your host, Shelly Chopra, the founder of SheThePeople.tv, and my special guests right here. Ashish Bhasin, who's the CEO APAC, Chairman India of Dentsu Aegis Network. Neha Ahuja, Head of Marketing of Spotify. Rajiv Basu, Media and Entertainment Sector Lead at PwC. And Rajiv Dhal, Chief Revenue Officer at ZEE5. Thank you all for joining us. Ashish, I'm going to come to you first to give us a big picture on how you see a complete transformation in the world of digital media, especially given that we're looking at nearly 30% ad spends via digital alone. So how are things stacking up in a pandemic world?
Look, digital has been the fastest growing medium for the last 5 years or so. And that trend is only going to get not only continue, but get accelerated. And in some ways, COVID has accelerated that. We ended last year, as per the Dentsu digital report, with about 19 to 20% of the market being digital. I expect that this year that number will be closer to about 30 to 33% by the time we end the year. However, having said that, we have to also recognize that this is a year where the overall size of the advertising pie has shrunk. And I think we'll end the year at, let's say, minus 15 to 20%. So all media have been impacted. Relatively speaking, I think digital will be least impacted. In fact, it might be the only medium which will show some growth, albeit lower than the past. So if you look at the CAGR of digital before, the compounded annual growth rate, that was around 32%. I expect that this year digital will probably grow in high single digits. So it's down from 32% to 9%, but I think it will probably accelerate again from next year. And given the context that the overall pie has shrunk by about 15 to 20%, a good growth of high single digits is also very good for digital. So that's the overall picture on that. A lot of this, of course, is, what the COVID pandemic has done is that the digital revolution, which should have taken another 4 to 5 years, it's made it happen in 4 to 5 months because, having grandparents on Zoom would have taken maybe 5 or 10 more years to happen. This has now forced us to do it since we are all at home, working from home, etc., in a shorter time. So in some ways, the digital literacy curve has gone significantly steeper. And the government, and this is something which we don't often recognize. I mean, we keep talking about big impetus by Jio reducing its prices and increasing bandwidth. But the government has done a lot as well, because you may have read that they've recently announced that every village panchayat in India, and there are about 600,000 plus villages, is going to have broadband connection. So the entire thrust on digital governance, coupled with the fact that data prices have fallen, bandwidth has increased, and the fact that everybody has been locked in at home has been a big thrust for the growth of digital. And I think that will do it well in years to come.
Great. Neha, to bring you in, what do you think this has meant for marketeers, the kind of changes that one has seen, the hastening of the digital acceptance process?
I think first, let me acknowledge that yes, the consumption has gone up, and it's gone up significantly for at least players like us. Initially, we did see a bit of a slip, but that was more to accommodate the change in the routine. And I'll give you an example of Spotify. Right, the two biggest use cases are commute and probably working out in the gym. Right, and both these didn't exist anymore. So the people took some time, but then we saw that, the consumption of music, the consumption of audio per se did go up significantly. Now coming to, what, the advertising and branding strategies look like, I don't think the fundamentals have changed, changed much. There are a couple of things that, we as marketers can keep in mind. The first one is that, the biggest issue that we used to face was consumer inertia. And like, Ashish was mentioning, that doesn't exist anymore. One is forced to adopt and adapt to the new environment, right? So consumer inertia is passe, right? And we often talk, jokingly within the organization that, this year pretty much for everybody has been out of syllabus. Whether it's the consumer or is when the marketers, it's really been out of syllabus year, right? So one has to be that much more agile and adopt. And we are seeing that from the consumers. So as marketers, let's acknowledge that the inertias are down, handhold the consumer and let's get going, right? The other one, which as marketers we can keep in mind, is that everyone's not having a good time, right? So it's almost like a responsibility of the brand to make the consumer feel good, feel safe and feel good, right? So I think these are the two very important things that the brand needs to keep in mind.
Rajiv, to bring you in, how do you see the, sort of media platforms seeing the kind of acceptance and will this digital consumption have sustainability attached to it, even in a post-pandemic world, for example?
Yeah, absolutely, Shari. I think this trend is definitely there to stay. And, as Ashish was alluding, there have been trends that we were expecting maybe 3 years down the line, which have been, for example, Disney Plus. The numbers that they were expecting on their platform in 2024 have been achieved in August 2020. So absolutely, this is not going to go away. I think this is a trend which has now probably settled down, and it's going to continue sometime in the future. And look, it's a whole new world now, and advertisers are finding their own audiences in completely different spaces, using different medium and on different platforms. So it's really a trick for them to really pull off now as to how to reach their consumers. And absolutely, they are going to have to do more and more, and technology is going to play a big part in how they're going to actually be able to reach their consumers right now.
Rajiv, what has the OTT experience been like? I mean, we got some sense of numbers in the sector, but in terms of advertising, how has that experience been upped both for the advertiser and the consumer at OTT?
So OTT initially in the Q1 of lockdown saw a little bit of dip and a comeback in Q2. And now Q3 is going much better. In terms of numbers, we've grown more than 2x. In the Q2 to Q1 ratio itself, our user base has grown 50% and our engagement rates have grown 4x. So anything which is in-home consumption has only been growing. Ashish has talked so much, Rajiv has spoken about on how future looks like. Let me bring a little twist to what's good and what are the probable challenges from a marketeer's perspective, ad tech perspective, and publisher's perspective. So there is no debate that digital AdX is only growing. And if you put the estimates together by 2025, 50% of the AdX, or 2026, 50% of the AdX would be digital oriented, which is a big deal. It'll be bigger than TV, it'll be bigger than print and whatever else. Within digital, video advertising is right now growing at the fastest rate, and we expect that to grow. So OTT is there to stay and grow. There is no doubt left on that part. What are the interesting challenges that we need to be prepped for? I'll very quickly talk about them. One, consumption reach will grow exponentially, but users will become more discreet. We have to be aware that there is removal of cookies from browsers, mandatory opt-ins, which will be called for from GID or IDFA, which is Apple and Google. There'll be introduction of features like limited ad tracking on your mobile phones. This is going to disturb the ecosystem. So are we prepared for future? That's one critical question that we need to answer from a marketer's perspective. $30 billion worth of programmatic market is going to be questioned within the next 1.5 years. I have seen platforms that are counting number of days, 444 days left for this big change to happen. Other big change, which is positive and are the brands prepared, is democratization of content creation. if you read about it, 50 million creators are there worldwide and 2 million full-time professionals creating content like a factory, which means there's an opportunity for brand, but is the marketing team, are the brand managers ready to adapt to that change and use it to their advantage? So that's a big opportunity area. Third area that needs to be focused is the attribution modeling for brands. So today, when investments go to a level of 30% to 50% on digital, there will be a lot of questions on what is the ROI? Now, are we ready for that? So these are 3 pointers beyond the obvious growth that we all are observing and we're excited about. So that's from my side. OTT has only grown. We're very excited right now. We had a soft quarter in April, May, June, but things are only looking up from here.
Neha, how do you respond to all of those challenges from an advertiser's point of view? Programmatic, measurables, all of that.
I think these challenges are real, but I think the ecosystem per se will have to evolve, right? And I think like Rajiv spoke about that, this conversation of attribution has always existed. And now it will only sort of, as the spends increase, we will have to, bring a solution to this sooner than later, honestly. Yeah. So completely agree with with all the challenges that he's sort of on the table.
So, but Neha, as a marketer, are you also recognizing that part of the innovation is, eventually going to play out more on the consumer side in terms of an experience, in terms of content, and perhaps sometimes, it can also permit very targeted consumer experiences. So, how are you gearing up as a platform to look at some of those in a deeper way than, let's say, you did a year ago?
Yeah. So I think, like I was mentioning, Shali, that the ecosystem, both from a consumer and the market standpoint, has evolved, right? The consumer, because he's been cocooned at home and hasn't got too many options, there's no social life, so he's far more agile. All the things that were physical, all the wallets that were not available have now come into play, right? So there the marketplace has grown. As a brand and marketing person, yes, we can take a huge advantage of all of this, right? And I'll give you a few examples. Now, the brands don't need to be transactional anymore. We can go beyond. We offer music, but we offer also, as Spotify, solve for fandom. So Spotify used to bring the artist and the consumer together, right? And there used to be concerts, there used to be, track releases, but all of that is not possible. Nothing physical is possible right now. But that does not mean that the artist is not releasing new music. That doesn't mean that the consumer can't interact with the artist. There are now concerts that are happening online. We very recently did, a concert in partnership with Twitter and Diljit Dosanjh. And he actually just released a full album online. And the kind of traction that we got from his fans was unprecedented.
Okay. So Ashish, to you, all of this clearly spells like opportunities. And if one were to sort of pick your mind on the trends that you're seeing as, as the person at the top of an agency, how do you see some of these really translated, not just into new consumer experiences, but how does this change the advertising story in India right now?
I'll give you a long-term answer and I'll give you an immediate answer because the two are not necessarily the same. The immediate is that the reality is that everybody's short of cash, and the first thing that as the opening up is happening, clients want sale. They're less interested in building the brand for 50 years and so on, and they'd love to, but they're more interested in seeing that how can I get my inventory to move quickly so that cash flow starts happening, because liquidity is under constraint for most businesses. So the immediate trend is that there is going to be a greater push towards performance or sales related advertising on digital, something that gives you short-term upside. And we're already seeing a lot of that. Of course, video and social, etc., naturally grows in India, so that's going to happen. But there is a very interesting inflection point, and we're about 18 to 24 months away from that. If you look at the big picture, there are approximately 450 million internet users in India. IMAI gives a little higher figure, but Census studies put it around 450 million people. Now, the total television homes in India are about, the total people reach by television are about 700, 750 million. I think these two graphs, so the digital graph is growing much faster, television graph is growing but relatively slower. These graphs in about 18 to 24 months will intersect, right? That means the reach of digital will become as much as the reach of television on that. And if you look at markets that are relatively ahead of us, so for example, South Korea, for example, China. So Rajiv was talking about 50% being digital by 2026. In China, already about 55-60% of the market is digital. If you look at these markets, you'll see that once that inflection point, once the reach of TV and reach of digital comes close to each other, then the advertising grows fast. And the reason for this is that the biggest advertisers tend to be, for example, FMCGs. Now they're interested in numbers. How many people can you reach? So the moment reach goes into significant numbers, that inflection point happens. And we are about 18, 24 months away. The other very interesting trend is that as per the Dentsu studies, about 200 to 250 million new internet users in the next 3 years are going to come onto internet, right? That's a huge number. There is near saturation in Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Bangalore, the bigger metros and so on. These are all going to come from tier 3, tier 4 rural areas, etc. I spoke about the government laying the fiber network in every village, etc. That's also going to mean that the type of communication will change. And that's why Googles and Facebooks of the world already have Tamil, Punjabi, Malayalam, various language options. That's going to ask marketeers and advertising agencies to rethink their entire strategy. So these are some mega long-term trend changes which are around the corner. We're probably 18, 24 months away from it, but we're definitely moving in that direction very rapidly.
Okay, fair. Rajiv, if you could step into that and sort of superimpose how you see these changes play out and the kind of impact they might have, because there is going to be a transition period in the pandemic world for both advertisers and consumers until, let's say, things normalize. And then if we go by what Rajiv and Ashish are saying, they're expected changes to start flowing in as well, thanks to a scale, reaching on digital consumption, digital viewers.
As Ashish has highlighted, there are few categories that are going to grow and will not be affected largely by even the pandemic effect, which is FMCG. So we've seen in the last 3 quarters, there's been a marginal dip that was during April, May, June. We saw a dip because of supply chain issues and storage issues and stuff like that. Now FMCG is back in action and we expect a growth in O&D quarter. That's a big change even from all other partners' perspective. When we look at digital native companies, the home delivery companies, anything that's home consumption, which is including e-commerce to food delivery to general delivery, that's growing rampant. And so we see a massive growth.
Rajiv Basu, if I could give you the final word to give us a tunnel view of what we should be looking at in the short term, medium term, and the long term as somebody who's analyzing the sector.
Look, I mean, not much different from what the other participants have said. Really, I think what will be important from the advertisers or brands perspective, if I could put it, Shaili, very important to know where the consumer is. Okay, and being from a consulting firm, I can not underemphasize the importance of technology there. Very important to latch onto technologies like AI, ML, which would actually give the brands an idea of where is my consumer, what is the preference, what does he want right now. Things like programmatic, would be very important, and AI-based programmatic would be very important. And I'm focusing more on the technology aspect because much has been said about the markets, and I completely agree with what has been said. Very important to focus on technologies like VFX because every experience is now going online. As I think Ashish mentioned, tier 3, tier 4 cities, and there's a lot of UGCs, which is user-generated contents that's coming up now, which is unpolished. There's a huge, advertising space around those user-generated contents as well, which is targeted towards a particular genre, which is targeted towards a particular space, really. So all these are new trends, very new trends that the advertisers need to watch out for, and they need to really now meet those trends with their communication. So that, I think, is a consistent trend. We will see much of that getting accentuated as the time goes by. And surely there is going to be this shift towards digital is here to stay, and we have to start living that life as advertisers and consumers.
Okay, I think that's amply clear to everyone in this room. Thanks very much, everyone. Well, technology, digital, that combination is here to stay, and that is really going to be looking at a direct play with the kind of ad spend increase, including fantastic directed, specific consumer experiences. Thank you for joining us.
Partnered by Times Influence.